He said it with a smile that didn't reach me. I owe it all to my sons. My daughter never had what it takes. Laughter, applause, the clinking of champagne glasses. I stood there, invisible, again the forgotten child who built half his empire, but never bore his name on the plaque. The lights above the banquet hall were warm and golden, flattering on his silver hair and his perfect family image. Cameras flashed. My brothers, smug and self-satisfied, patted his back like they owned the legacy too. Showing then, I stood up. I walked across the floor, each click of my heels slicing through the applause. I handed him a small wrapped box, black paper tied with a red ribbon. "From your biggest failure," I said, and I walked out. When he opened it, he screamed. I remember when I used to look up to him. When I was 8, I used to sit on the floor of his office while he explained the stock market, his voice deep and steady like scripture. He'd let my brothers play with his cufflinks, but he'd hand me a calculator. "You're sharp," he once said, "but business isn't for little girls." That was the first time I realized that love in his world was something you had to earn. Some of us started in debt. I learned early how to stay quiet, how to listen between his words. I studied the way he spoke to clients, how he charmed investors with half-truths and clean lies. He called it leadership, called it theater. When I graduated top of my class, he didn't come. He said he had a board meeting that couldn't wait. But when my brothers launched a failed startup 2 years later, he wrote them a check and called it an investment in potential. The betrayal didn't come all at once. It was slow, almost graceful. When I joined his company, I thought it was my chance. To prove myself, I worked twice the hours, triple the effort. He made me chief operations assistant, which sounded important until I realized it was a glorified secretary. Then one night, was finalizing a client report in his office while he was out of town. I clicked open a folder meant for the board. My name was in it. Reassign her duties. Detail-oriented, but lacks leadership instincts. Keep her busy. Quietly phase her out. His signature was at the bottom. That night, something in me went still. Didn't quit. I didn't confront him. Instead, I watched. I learned he had secrets buried under corporate polish offshore accounts. Falsified earnings, private transfers hidden through shell companies under my brothers' names. He thought no one would ever look too closely. He was right, no one did, except me. Spent months piecing it together, line by line, ledger by ledger. I traced every cent until I knew exactly how to destroy him, not with rage, but precision. I began small. A few anonymous emails to the board, to the auditors, subtle, timed. Delayed. I didn't want suspicion. I wanted certainty. Then I transferred select documents to the regulatory authorities. Nothing traced back to me. He'd always said, information is power. He just never realized I'd been listening. When the retirement gala was announced, it was perfect. Farewell tour before his inevitable investigation. I spent the week before the event tying the final knot in the noose he built for himself. The box I handed him that night contained a single flash drive. Inside it, every transaction, every falsified statement, every shell company, and one message file titled, "From your biggest failure." The same phrase I used when I handed it to him. By the time he opened it, I was already gone, sitting in my car, watching from across the street as the glass ballroom glittered behind him. The soundproof windows didn't let me hear his scream, but I saw his face pale. I saw the confusion ripple through the crowd as he stumbled off the stage. It didn't take long. Within 48 hours, the investigation became public. The empire he built on lies crumbled under headlines and subpoenas. My brother's accounts were frozen. His legacy rotted from the inside. They said he had a breakdown. He locked himself in his office for days before the authorities came. He tried calling me. 12 missed calls, 1 voicemail. "Don't understand what you've done." I did perfectly. People ask me if I regret it. Regret is for people who were given love and lost it. I was never given the chance. I didn't ruin him out of hatred. I did it to balance the scales, to show him that the daughter he dismissed learned from the best and surpassed the master. Now his company bears a new name. Mine, his office, is empty. His reputation, ashes, and me, I sleep better than I ever did. The world calls it revenge. I call it inheritance.